Getting your t-shirt to print exactly how you designed it isn't complicated. Clear, crisp detail, true colors, perfect alignment, it all comes down to a few simple steps. And that's exactly what t-shirt design file preparation is all about. In this video, we'll cover 4 tips to help you get there. First, let's clear up what print ready means. This term describes how your file is set up so a printing machine can read it instantly. No guessing required. Just as a builder needs a blueprint to avoid mistakes, a printer needs a clean design file for the same reason. Get it print ready, and there's nothing standing between your idea and the finished shirt. So how do you actually get there? It comes down to 4 things: sharpness, layout, color, and file type. Let's go through them one at a time, starting with the one that trips people up the most. Ever zoomed in on a photo until it turned into a blurry mess of little squares? That's exactly what happens when a low-quality image gets stretched onto a shirt. Most images you find online, like something pulled from a website or Instagram, are made up of a fixed grid of tiny colored squares called pixels. That's fine on a small phone screen, but blow it up to fill a chest-sized graphic, and those same squares get stretched too, turning your crisp design into a fuzzy mess. To protect your final quality, your design files must maintain a baseline resolution of at least 300 dpi, or dots per inch. This ensures it packs enough pixel detail for its actual full-size printed dimensions, not the tiny thumbnail version. Now, if you want to scale your designs from, say, the size of a stamp to the size of a banner, and keep perfectly sharp edges, you'll need to use vector art instead of pixels. Vector art uses mathematical formulas to draw curves and lines, so it stays crisp and clear no matter how big or small you make it. One more thing to watch for: pulling images straight off a website. Web graphics are deliberately shrunk down to 720 dpi so pages load fast, which is way below what a printer needs. So always start with the original high-resolution file, not a screenshot or a downloaded copy. Now that your image is sharp, let's make sure it actually lands where you want it on the shirt. You've probably seen it. A shirt where the text sits awkwardly close to the collar, or a background color leaves a weird white sliver at the edge. That's a layout problem, and it's an easy one to avoid once you know what to look for.
Most print templates use 2 types of guidelines.
Think about how you paint a wall. You use painter's tape so that you can paint slightly past the edge to get the perfect finish.
In VistaPrint's Design Studio, that's known as your bleed and safety lines, shown in blue and green. If your design has a full background color or pattern, stretch it all the way past those lines, so there's never a stray gap once it's printed.
Now that your layout's locked in, let's talk about something that trips up even experienced designers: color. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. The colors on your screen and the colors on your shirt are created in 2 very different ways. Your monitor is basically shining colored light at your eyes. That's called RGB. But a printer isn't shining light. It's mixing physical ink, which works in a mode called CMYK. Both can look beautiful, but they behave differently, especially with bright glowing colors like neon or electric blue, which tend to look richer and deeper once they're printed in ink. The best way around this is to design in CMYK from the start, so what you see on screen is a much closer match to what comes off the press. VistaPrint art director Mary Faux put it well: color helps your brand gain instant recognition. It's almost like having a familiar face in a crowd. Customers often identify a brand based on color alone. Locking in your color mode early will protect your brand identity from screen to print. Okay, so now we've covered the sharp image, solid layout, and accurate color. The last step is making sure you save it in a format your printer can use. If you want the sharpest, most flexible result, save your file as a PDF or an Illustrator AI file. Or if you're working with detailed photo edits, a layered Photoshop PSD works great too. If your design needs a transparent background, so the fabric color shows through around your logo instead of on a big white box, go with PNG.
And finally, if you're exporting a flattened image, PNG, JPEG, TIFF, and HEIC are all supported.
Now that we've covered all the file prep steps in detail, before you upload your next masterpiece, let's run through this quick final checklist. Is your file at least 300 dpi at full print size? Is everything important kept inside the safety line? Are your backgrounds stretched past the bleed line? Is your color mode set to CMYK? Is it saved as the right file format for what you need? And that's it.
All of the file checks remove the guesswork, so your design shows up looking exactly like you imagined it.
When you're ready to bring that design to life, check out VistaPrint's huge clothing range.
And if you ever want a second pair of eyes on your file, Our design services team is right there to help you get it print ready and teeeee-riffic.